Hello everyone, welcome to part 14 of Getting into Unity Basics tutorial series. My name is Ethan Bablinski, and this is going to be another exciting Unity tutorial. Now, when we left off, we called these states inside of our state machine, and we all cheered. It was like NASA. And now we're going to actually, make some magic happen in these states. And the way to do that is, let's open our script, and where we have look for, let's get started there, right? So to get started is pretty easy. Here we're gonna open this up, right? And we're gonna even keep this print, and just for our knowledge, the most important is over the most crucial and most confusing part is this. A lot of times people see this and they're like, how do I replicate this? And it's good to see this as a cookbook or instructions, a to-do list, and this as the guy that's doing all these things. And the switches. So is the switch, and we flip through the switches, calling these functions underneath the switch using the IEnumerator function in our start, and having this lovely thing at the end of our while loop. So it is a bit to remember, but I do recommend that you really study this, write this down, and anytime you need to do a complex system, and AI especially, I would do something like a state machine. So in our look for, I'm going to hit enter, and we're going to make an if statement that will check the distance of our player, and will then say if he's close enough to approach the target. And to do that, we're going to do an if, right? And how do we get distance? Well, we can get the absolute value of the differences, so subtracting, but Unity makes this nice and simple. We're going to do vector 3, and we're going to do dot distance. Now we pass the two objects we want the distance from, and specifically their positions, or their vector 3s. Like we said earlier, the x, y, and z of coordinate of a game object. So we're going to do our target. So our target that we're targeting, our target position, because that is a vector 3. And we don't need to do target.gameObject because we've already stored just like transform and comma, and we're going to do transform lowercase to indicate that it is the object's transform that the script is attached to. If we do capitalized, then we are specifying a transform. So we're just going to do transform dot position, which means the enemy's position, or this game object's position. And if the distance is less than, we go to distance, right? And we're going to put our little brackets here. I'm going to hit enter. And if this is true, then we're going to change our curse state. And this is how you change states. It's really simple. You call the variable curse state. And what does it equal? How do we do it? Well, if you hit space, you have something called states. And it's already highlighted. So we just click that. And we put a period. And then we switch which state we're switching to. And we're switching to the GoTo state. And we're going to do our semicolon there. I'm going to hit save. Let's go to Unity. In Unity, we have Visual Basic errors, or warnings, which you guys should not have if you're using MonoDevelop or another engine, or another coding engine. And in our enemy, we have this lovely thing, player tag. We're going to click on our player, and we see that he's untagged. So let's change that. Let's click on our tag drop down, and here, of course, we do have the tag called player. So I'm going to click player, and we're going to hit the play button, and we do get the variable target of enemy has not been assigned. Why is that? Well, that is because we haven't assigned it here. And how do we assign something once? We are saying that this loops together, but it doesn't if we don't put it in the while loop. So anything underneath here, this is our update. So this gets called all the time. Anything between here and here here, this would be our start. So anything above our while loop would be just called once. So let's assign our target. Target equals, and what does it equal? It equals a game object, a capital game object, since we are specifying something, dot find object with tag right here. And what tag are we trying to find? We're finding, and we don't need the parenthesis, the quotation marks, because we're just calling this string here. So player tag, and we get this red line because the target is not a game object; it's a transform. And to convert this game object to transform, all we have to do is dot transform, parentheses, hit save, and then let's go into Unity and hit play. And now we say, hi, we are going to go to, right? But if we want to run away all the way to the edge of the map, and we click on our enemy, and we go to look for, we see that he is in the look for state, and in fact, we are in look for right here. We can see this all throughout, and we're gonna approach, and we're in GoTo. So now he would come after us, and that is pretty cool. So let's continue with our coding. So what happens in GoTo, right? So let's open up our code. So now we're in GoTo. So to do this, we're going to actually just transform the position, right? So we're going to go right here, right underneath print, and we're going to say transform, or yeah. So if he's too far to attack, then we're going to go towards him. And the way to do that is do if, right? So we're basically copying this. If vector3 dot distance target dot position transform dot position, and here we're going to do a less than sign and attack distance. Then if he's less than, if it's greater than attack distance, we're going to do this. And what are we going to do? We're going to just move the object. So we're going to do that by using a function called vector3 lerp. And actually, because this is an enemy, we're actually just going to use, and something that is a little bit more visual. We can use lerp, but there's actually a better function that kind of speaks the name. We're going to do vector3 dot transform or move towards, and to do that, all we need to do is set our position to that move towards position. And the way to do that is transform, game objects transform, equal or dot position, and after that we're going to do equals vector3 dot move towards, and here we're just going to specify the current position, so the transform dot position, and our target position, so it speaks the name, target position, where we're at and where we're going, and how fast we're doing it. We're going to do it times speed right here, and we're going to multiply it by the difference of time to make it a smooth motion and to work with the frame rate. So if the game is frozen, we are not moving, times time dot delta time. We're going to end it off with a semicolon. We're going to hit save. And afterwards, if this isn't true, we're just going to go to attack. So if this is less than, then we're close enough to attack, so we're going to attack, and we do that by doing an else. So if anything else is true, then we're going to do a cur state equals state dot attack. gonna save this again, go into Unity, and let's hit play. So we definitely see that the enemy is moving at turtle's pace, but we see that we are attacking. That's because our distance is a little too big, but if we do look for, then he looks for us, and we go all the way here, and we go to GoTo, and so on. So it's a pretty cool feature. And that is it for this part of the tutorial series. See us in part 15, where we do the attack function and we cycle through them in a way that he'll chase us and keep on attacking us if we're doing something bad. So see you then.